Meeting to order at 5:52. So before we get started with Barbara and Colleen, we will at least review the minutes of the last meeting, which was held last Monday. Everybody had a chance to review the minutes. Any changes or corrections, omissions, comments, anything? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept them.
Move to accept.
Second.
Moved and seconded. In favor?
Aye.
Excellent. All right. So, to get started, we have Colleen and Barbara in for the first round of our department. Yeah, we figured we'd start out, with ones that we know are friendly to us.
Is she gonna come back for highway?
No.
She doesn't use. No, Jimmy comes in for highway,
Jimmy
but he's boycotting, so we may not see him either. Or is he coming in? Is he?
No, he's not boycotting. He just hasn't
He's
got
not
any
sure.
numbers
Yeah,
yet.
okay. That's fine. We'll deal with that when that happens.
Is
I
Terry
think
sheet
he's
numbers?
meeting what? I think he's meeting. I think I told Lisa the end of the month. I think he had a meeting, not the selectmen's meeting, but the next one.
Okay.
Do you want me to start with this?
Yes, please.
Okay, this is the accountant's expense line. It's really complicated and whatnot. The $2,800 represents what I pay to the computer company for all the printouts and all the things for the general ledger and everything else. And the office supplies are any meetings, books, anything else I need.
Okay.
That's a hard one, huh?
Why'd you go up $50?
What, in the expense line? Because sometimes, yeah, I can't steal any more of your binders. They're falling apart. So we're gonna have to buy a few of the, the 3-ring
have to
binders
start
to
a-
put the books.
Do we have to do a
Colleen had
GoFundMe for you to get new binders?
No,
Yeah.
Colleen had a ton of old ones, so we've been just using them up and they're basically gone and
I
falling
probably have like
apart.
a basement full of them. Every meeting I go to, I get a new
These are
binder.
the real 3-inch.
The 3-inch ones that we put, because we put
Yeah.
the payables in there and
All
the warrants
donations
and all
are
that. Yeah.
I do have some banker
I may have
boxes
some of
if
those.
you need those.
Yeah.
All right. I'll assume that if no one interrupts, that we're all good with the explanations. If you have any questions, we can interrupt as we go along. So next page is the support staff, and that's the one you just gave us a new.
That's the one I just gave you a new one, and
Okay.
I'll explain that to you very
Yep.
easily. Yeah, it's a slight difference. When I did this originally, I did it, it's $33.74 this year. I did it based on the standard 2%, because I passed this in early, then wage and personnel went with 2.5% plus the 2, so now we're at $34.60.
Yep.
And it still only represents the 3 hours she works a week for the 52.2 weeks. It's nothing different,
Okay.
okay? So, because if you look at the other had 21.98, and with the extra 0.5%, it's 22.09, and that's what's on the new one, so,
Very good.
okay? Now this one, it's the old one too. What
Do we
I,
have a new one on this one or no?
no, evidently, this is the one I gave you.
Okay.
This one can be done 2 ways. I did it that way, and then I did it at the $50 an hour times 960. What's hard with my position is I don't know where the extra hours are going to be used, whether, I have a rate that's effective, the $45 is effective until October 31st. Then it goes to $50. So I'm dealing with a split, and that was the split. If you wanna leave it at that, fine. It might, where I close out a lot of the books in the summer and whatnot, I could use more than the 18 hours in a week. The other way, I did it, if the whole $50 at 960 hours, and it was 48,000 for the total instead of the 46,268. You can do what you want. If I run short, I'll be back to see you.
Well, if you end up putting more hours in the summer, it would actually come down a little bit, because you'd be more
No,
hours at the
because
lower
July
rate.
1st, it would be at the lower rate, but it'd be more hours. So it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I don't
Right.
care which way you do it. I really don't.
Well, I know you don't, but we want. We wanna at least try to be accurate.
Yeah, but
So-
it's impossible to
I
tell
understand.
because I don't work 18 hours every week.
Right, I understand.
Some weeks I might work 23, the next week I might work 14, so
Right.
it's hard to tell. So go with that, because that's a pure thing of what the rate is till October, and then if I
Based on
run
18 hours a week,
Yeah.
if it averages out.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, the 18 represents a little shy of the 960 hours that I am legally allowed to work in a calendar year.
Yes.
It's not even a fiscal, it's a calendar year. So it crosses back and forth, so.
Okay,
Okay, so that's fine with that.
okay.
I did it both ways, and I've got both on this sheet here, so. Okay, the other line you gave me, with the reserve fund one, I don't know why you guys gave me that one, because that's your baby.
Well, you filled it out for us.
I did.
I can tell you why I gave it, because I didn't know who else to give it to.
So I gave you that
This is
back.
my first year handing out these things. I had no idea who it went to.
So I
You
felt
seemed like
it
a
up
good
as-
candidate.
Well, we had been doing 50 and it wasn't sufficient, so you went to 60 last year, and you haven't given out any, so if you don't use it.
We have
it's
one
good.
tonight to vote
Yeah,
on,
if
but
you,
other than
well,
that,
you're gonna get a couple, I know that,
what's that?
trust me.
No, it's,
Selectmen's,
Oh.
the selectmen's administrative assistant. Trust me, you're gonna be getting one from the fire department soon too.
I think actually, I checked my email this afternoon and I noticed there's one since I was in, so,
They'll have to,
so that must be what that
the
is.
expense line of the EMS budget is
Okay.
running up.
Okay,
And the only other one that I have, you gave me one for the Silver Lake debt service. I can't do that. We haven't got any figures from Silver Lake yet.
Their-
And that comes with their budget.
their
so-
packet came in this week, so
Oh,
we
okay,
do,
'cause
so
I
we
haven't
do
got it.
have that actually,
Yeah, I went to a meeting last, Wednesday, was it? With the Civil Lake School
Thursday.
Committee, Thursday, yeah, Civil Lake School Committee. Eric and I went.
so, yeah, there it is. So that's what they gave us, was 184, 877.
And I got
Because
down
we
it.
pay that to them, Colleen, and then they pay the bond, so it doesn't matter. Okay, in the local debt for the elementary school is dropped a little. It was 77,206, and it's 74,594 for
Right.
19.
And as long as we're here, I added a line
I
in
saw
there
that.
for the police department. I mean, I didn't know if we wanted to track it this way, or it's obviously gonna come out of the capital fund, so.
We put it in with the principal and interest line, but you can segregate it if you so choose.
Okay, well, I thought,
When we
Nice
were
have it
doing it, we
separate.
just
I
put it all
thought people
in
might
that.
appreciate seeing it
That's
separate.
fine, and it will come out of capital stabilization anyway, so I won't have to
Right,
split it, so
Right.
it's fine. Is that close, Colleen, to what we had?
isn't that what you gave me?
On the capital, on the extra, for the capital stabilization, I had put the principal of 125 on a 2 million,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
But then you-
110 with interest.
so that's
So-
exactly what it is.
okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's fine,
I must have got that number somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I turned in.
Okay, all right, cool, good. All right,
So that takes care of me, good night.
let me see if I got
When I
it.
came in tonight, I had part of the new health rates. I had put in for,
Found out how
I
to
think a
locate them.
15% increase, which we had done last year until we got the actual.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And this is the actual, and the highest is 6.9. However, we can't anticipate what the retirees is gonna be because it goes calendar year, so that won't change until December.
What are we talking about right now? I'm
The
sorry.
Health
Insurance,
insurance.
health
Insurance.
insurance.
that's your salary, that's not the line that's
Oh,
up
no.
there.
Yeah, sorry,
That's
No, I
okay.
just wanted to tell them I got the new one. We can go in order if it's easier.
yeah, so you guys, I tried sending this one to you a couple of times, but it was too large a packet and I didn't feel like breaking it into smaller packets, that's why you haven't seen this one yet, so.
Oh.
Okay.
So this will all be new to you. So this starts out with, and this, you had given me a new one too, right? Based at the 2.5%.
Yeah, I gave you a new one after
Yeah.
I found out
Let's
we
see
were
if I
getting
can
the
bring that up.
2.5%. Because my contract is based on 2% plus,
Oh,
No,
man,
your
now I'm
contract
upside
is
down.
based on what wage
Personnel.
of personnel.
plus 2%.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the new one.
Yes,
So wage and personnel came back with 2.5%
right.
this year, and then there's the 2% in some cases
A little better, right?
for the merit as well. So the
Yeah.
new number is 61,764.
Correct.
And then for the support staff, same thing. It's 2.5 plus 2, worked out to 33,439.
39.84, correct.
So, all right, so now we can go back to the other one. We've already done that one.
There is no certification compensation yet, and that will probably be coming next year.
Okay,
20.
we did that one. Okay, so here we go. Expenses.
You went up too.
I just went up on the computer
Yes,
costs
that's what I did.
by $500.
Hardware's going down.
But
Yeah,
these are,
he's-
it isn't to buy computers,
No.
this is to, what we pay the computer company that does everything
Oh.
for us. And there's always
And
extra
and
things
he's
that the auditors
added
want
quite a
that we
few
end
new
up paying
features that
for.
I wanna pick up.
Yep.
So that
Yeah.
I can, like, somebody wants to send me a tax bill, a copy of their tax bill, I can do it right from the computer, and now I have to make a copy of the tax bill, scan it, and then
Mhm.
email it.
We won't have,
And he can set it up for like $100, and then I can email everything just right from the computer,
That would be nice.
so.
Bet I couldn't do my checks that way.
That was taken away and put somewhere else quite a while ago.
Yeah,
I
I know.
That
it
was
was-
eliminated.
So that
In the
you
online
don't-
that I
Should we
use.
eliminate the line?
Yeah, eliminate
Just
the line
eliminate the line?
completely.
We can do that.
We don't need it anymore.
oh,
All right.
yeah.
I'm all in favor of that.
And they charge you.
I used to be, I mean, I've got online banking, I get my bank
Yeah,
to
that's
send
what
a
I
check.
do, yeah.
Banking services, okay.
Yeah, now that that's clear all the way across, you can eliminate it, but I think the year before it still had.
Still had one?
figure and you
Okay,
wanted to
all right.
leave it
Okay. And then we go to pension.
Yeah, we haven't got an accurate.
Yep.
And so that's a guesstimate until I get an accurate.
When does that come?
there. Who knows?
Probably,
Usually
probably-
March.
yeah,
usually
probably by
I
the end
mean,
of.
we have it before we close it out, right?
Yeah,
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 okay.
Yeah, you'll have it
Yeah.
before.
Is that the Plymouth County?
Yeah. That's the county pension system, the town.
And is
share
that what
of
it ran last, was it about 7% last year?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what we based it on, because Colleen and I, she'll ask for help and we'll work on those together, so.
Okay.
As long as, we just figure it's better to check them and
Yep.
make sure we've done them.
Group health, you
Okay.
talked about, yeah,
you know,
okay.
here, you can have these rates
Okay.
and you can judge, but again, we can't calculate what the pension's gonna be, and we have to have some
It
extra.
ended up being
I mean,
lower
what-
last year, it ended up being about 3.5%. But they had sent out a letter telling us it was
It
gonna
was
be
going-
7 or 6 last year.
Yeah.
And then it was 3.5, and the year before about the same. The big jump was between 16 and 17, when it went from 419.9 to 481.2. And then
So
last year it was
This was
496.
estimated at 15% increase, but you're saying the
This is
maximum
at-
will be 6.9.
That's what we're
On,
hoping.
that's what we're hoping.
But the
That definitely,
retirees
definitely,
could
yeah,
push it a little
definitely
higher?
yes on the non-retirees.
Yeah,
But the ones that are on the Medicaid,
Medicare,
MedX,
This
yeah.
is,
this has nothing to do with MedX.
Right.
Is
And
it,
that's the
are they
ones that-
traditionally
Yes, it does.
lower? Is it traditionally
No.
lower, usually
This is-
lower?
yeah, this is the 50% that you paid for MedX people is in here.
That's included in the
Yeah.
15%.
Yeah,
But it's not included in this sheet that I gave
No.
them,
no.
which
Yeah,
we
they-
won't know
they met
anything until December.
Before, everything was July to June 30th.
yeah,
And in fiscal 18, the county decided that the Medicare, not Medicare, but the MedX
Med-Ex,
patients
yeah.
would go from July to December and then go from January 1st to December 31st. So it went with the federal
Okay.
one as far as all that. So if people were trying to change their plans,
Yep.
it would be more conducive to do it with
And
the
we were
federal
expecting
ones.
it to go up in December, and they held it firm,
They
they
held
didn't
it.
go up. So now they probably will go up, but we don't know what.
It won't go, yeah, and it won't
So are
be
you
till December.
thinking that we should still hold the 15% increase for now, or is
No, I
that, can
think
that
you
come
can-
down a little bit?
I think it can come down.
Can we go to like 10? Would
Yeah.
you say?
But I wouldn't go
Yeah.
any less than that.
Okay.
I mean, the one thing is, if it doesn't go up to 10%, then it'll be a cushion that we'll have there to transfer at the end of the year or
Right.
through town meeting if we need to or whatever.
Any number on that? Oh, you got it.
It'd be 45, 20.
497, 197. Okay.
Medicare traditionally every year we've just increased it by the 5 and we've been pretty close.
Yeah, we seem to use that. Because the hardest part to know and judge now is because we don't know what the school's gonna do. And they pay into Medicare with their payrolls, just like everybody else does. And then they have the big one in June, and we don't know what the total value will be until the end of June, so
What's
we
that?
have no choice.
Number in there? And that stuff that I brought in?
No, no, that's not a separate school number, Medicare.
No, that has
No,
nothing
that's
to do
not,
with
that
it.
has nothing to do with.
So this is the percentage of payroll that we pay to Medicare, is that what that is?
No, we pay, I think, is it 1.5% of everybody's paycheck
Yeah,
to Medicare?
yeah,
And
okay.
that's the town,
Then that's what, yeah,
that's the
okay.
town share.
Yeah, all right.
And our payroll is almost $4 million between the town and the school.
And unemployment is consistent with
Yeah,
every year.
Unemployment, yeah,
forever.
we haven't had anybody on unemployment for quite a while.
No. This, do you want me to do it? You want?
Now go ahead and stand it. Feel free.
I've been just working with this all. This increase is, we know there's a huge
Cisco
case
abatement.
coming up with Cisco.
Hmm.
They're working, the assessors are working on it. We upped the overlay on the recap sheet to possibly cover it, and I was told today that they filed for 18 also.
Okay,
So they filed another year, so. And if the court gives them, or the appellate tax board gives them an abatement,
We have to pay
by
interest.
statute, we have to pay 14% interest on the amount they give them back. And this is the line that
that would come out of,
payment come
That the
come
interest
out
would come out
of,
of.
so the
Okay.
interest line. So we felt it was safer to bump it up a little this year in case that happens.
okay,
I mean, it's only a $500
Right.
increase, but better to be safe than sorry.
sure, okay, all right.
Because we can't take it out of, we can't take the interest out of the overlay or anything else. It has to come out of a separate line and out of the town's costs.
Gotcha. Is everybody clear on that?
See what happened after I left the assessor?
This is the note we have left, I just,
Don't go there.
renewed the bond.
Go up there again.
one is down to 120, one is down to 50.
Maybe.
So with another 40, we'll be down to 90 on one and 40 on the other next year,
Nice. Okay,
unless we can pay it off
But use it so I
that'd be nice.
somehow.
Let's see what we can do. You have an idea? Okay.
And this is the
Debt, debt we,
Dennis-
spoke about
Yeah,
earlier,
yeah,
so it's
yeah.
gone down a little bit.
Yeah, it goes down every year because it's just
Yes.
on the balance that's left there and that's it.
77, and we went over the capital stabilization,
Right.
the police department.
Okay.
Those bonds, those bids are supposed to be coming in tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay, any questions for
No,
Either of these two, before we move on to the revenue projection?
No, it's either of you two, not.
no. Well, questions from you guys to either of us
Right.
on what we submitted.
Right.
Yeah, no.
They-
Thank you.
Danielle, are you all set?
You want-
That's all right,
I'll take one for, do you have one
Yeah,
more?
I have-
I'll save.
Well, I need one just to
Oh, go
talk
ahead.
to you,
Yeah,
then
go
I'll put
ahead.
it right back to you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, this is your forecast. As far as bottom line, yeah, that works better, Steve, I'm not upset. This, oh, I can't sit forward, I have to sit back a bit. This is your forecast as of today for fiscal 19. You've got your levy base, your 2.5%. The new growth, I talked to Wendy today, and she's gonna, do some groundwork on that. She hasn't had time, she's only been here back a week or two. So hopefully that will increase.
I was gonna say, I thought the last one that had increased a little bit, no?
Well,
Last time we spoke?
last year when we did this, we stuck with 70,000 until the thing was finally certified.
Okay,
And we didn't know, but Wendy said she'll look into it and see how the building permits have been, and she'll let me know if we can bump that up.
okay,
So then the debt exclusion for the, well, with the figure they gave us today will be a little low, this will be a little lower.
mm-hmm,
Because I didn't have the regional and I just looked at the other and plugged a number in.
Okay.
So-
Yep.
So that'll go down a little. The cherry sheet is 1,050,000, last year it was 1,073,000. The governor's cherry sheet that's out, which is only the very, very first step, is 1,067,000, so I'm not going any farther than that because they always cut them back.
yep,
And the local estimated receipts is, I've only got 960 on there. Last year was 1,306,000. However, that 1,306,000 included the solar. Now the solar is incorporated into the personal property part of it, so we can't have it in both. So I had to reduce the amount of local estimated receipts. We were taking it in as lieu of taxes
Yep.
payments, which goes on this sheet. Now it'll be part of our regular revenue from real estate and personal property,
okay,
okay?
okay,
So that's a big thing, you know, that would change things. The next number is what's been certified for free cash for fiscal
yep,
18. The ambulance fund is the same as it was last year. The capital stabilization is a lot lower because we used the 500,000, this is,
Yep.
we'd have about 6 or 650, so I plugged in 5, because I don't think we should use every penny we've got there. And then the overlay, I bumped it back to 250 again, not knowing what's gonna happen. If they clean out what we have in the account now with these appellate tax cases, we have to build it back up in order, so there'll be a cushion for the old real estate if somebody gets it.
Which number are we talking about?
She's
Oh, the
the
overlay
bottom
down at the
section.
bottom
I'm
to
just trying to
left.
go through it
Expenses,
quickly,
okay.
then if you have questions
Yep.
later, you can send me
Overlay.
an email or whatever. The tax recap is Colleen's that she can use directly to put it on as a form that goes with the recap, and she gets 15,000 off the top to use
And we're
it.
having an auction next year, so
And the snow and ice deficit is a
mostly
guesstimate.
parcels and parcels that have little bits and pieces that you can't get to.
It is every year.
The snow and ice deficit is always, has been up there for a while, even though we bumped it up. And I just figure it's safer to leave it there until
Yep.
we get closer to the end of March or April and know if it's still needed, then we can decrease it if necessary or put it back up. Cherry sheet charges and the MBTA assessment are what the second page of what this thing usually comes from, those are the monies they take off the top
okay,
for our charges, so we don't have any control over that.
okay,
The 40,000 direct expenditure, on this cherry sheet, there's an item called school choice tuition. It's now 41, last year it was 36, and then the public libraries is 36. Those two together are what would normally be in here, but I didn't get this in time. And this isn't final, so I'm not changing the 40, it might be 45.
so the 40, oh, okay, so the
It
40
could
will go up,
It
probably.
probably will go up to 45 looking at this.
And why did that jump from 3,000 to 33,000 a couple years ago?
Where are you talking about?
I'm looking back at
Oh, because-
16 to 17.
Because of school choice.
Okay,
School choice was never an issue on the cherry sheet. It was never put in there and whatnot, and then 3 years ago it started. Now school choice comes in, like I said, it was 36 last year, it's 41, 250. I didn't touch it.
no, it went to sleep on us, there we go.
41, 250 this year, and that money, it comes in through the state, but it goes directly in a grant account for the school to use for whatever choice they want. We can't use it against the tax rate.
Okay,
Okay, so that takes care of that. Then the 26, 224, and the 534 are the general and the capital stabilization figures for next year, and then you get your bottom line. That quick and easy?
So,
Or have I now confused everybody?
so
no
we're
more so than
looking
usual.
at a total available appropriation, 12,312,000
As of right now,
as
yes.
of this sheet, which is $200,000 less than last year.
Right, but
But,
if you.
so that's what I'm looking for, because I know last year was, you said we,
It's very easy. 'Cause
Okay.
the capital stabilization line is $500,000 higher
okay,
in 18 than it is in 19, and that's because we used 500,000 of that for the police station.
Right.
So last year, we wouldn't have used that. If you removed the 500,000 from the 12,523, you'd have 12,023,
Okay.
and you'd be up against
so
it.
we're really almost
Okay.
300 up.
okay,
Okay?
Yep.
That's the easiest way to explain
right,
that
and
one.
that's what I needed you to
And right
explain that.
now, without any warrant articles, we're looking at about 11 million in the budget.
Mhm.
Approximately. But
That's
but some
okay.
things are still undecided, as
Oh,
we've
yeah.
talked about,
There-
so.
There always are things.
Yeah.
I mean, this is nothing but a lot of hopefully educated guesses,
Yeah, of course.
you know, for somebody that's been doing it for.
Yeah, we've always
30,
been,
40
your numbers have always led us in the right direction, Barbara.
They're not exact,
Right.
but they're close and they're realistic. And that's why I give you this sheet with the history of the different things
Yeah.
on the back.
No, that's
So
helpful.
you can see that rather than making projections going the other way, which just confused, to me, would confuse the issue for you right now. It's easier to have what we're dealing with there and then the history behind it. If you have questions, you call, because I don't care how much time. Whatever makes it easier for you is fine by me. So,
Those of us that don't work, he just dropped in.
that's fine too. That's fine too, but everybody's got my phone number. I don't care if you call me at night or the weekend. Most of this is kind of here. I don't keep a copy, but I'll gladly take a copy home. If you think you might have questions, I'll gladly help. Colleen knows that. Nate knows he can call,
No, I just stopped in.
but I don't care either way either. I really don't. I don't mind.
No, I think that's helpful.
So, that's just, and I mean, I will update it as I get more information, and how you'll know is I'll change the dates on the bottom, because it has today's date on it.
Okay.
I'll change the date, or I'll highlight it and put a note on the bottom as to why.
What's
And then-
changed?
Yeah,
Okay.
what's changed, and then email it to Nate, and then you guys, he can email it to all of you.
Very good. Any more questions for Barbara about the revenue?
It's a quickie, but.
Oh, that's good. Okay, I guess
No,
we're done with you
wait,
then. Oh, Steve's got a
Is this-
question.
This isn't the levy limit, is it? These
No.
numbers here?
No,
No, that's the actual levy?
This one is here,
Oh, the levy.
that one is there, that's,
Oh, levy limit, yeah.
that's last year's
Yeah,
amount, plus the 2.5%, plus an estimate of new growth
Yeah.
would be this number, and then that is a, debt exclusion number.
oh, I see. I was remembering levy limits from my,
Yeah,
my old
yeah.
office.
No, our
Yeah,
true
this-
limit is higher than that.
Higher,
right?
yes.
This
We could
is,
theoretically go
Because
up
two
to.
and a half is-
this is the levy,
That's
the
the
9
highest.
million, 959,
highest.
468 is your levy limit.
Okay,
So you normally we try and spend
nowhere
under
near
that.
Under that,
that.
yeah,
You're
right,
about
right, okay.
600,000 under that.
Okay.
So if you look, the comparison would be to look at the actual not cherry sheet, but recap sheet
Right,
that we did for fiscal 18, and that's the bottom line figure that's divided by the total valuation of the town to get our tax rate.
yep,
So, I mean,
Okay.
people get confused between levy limit, levy ceiling, which is a lot more than this too, but there is a form on the DOR website. You have access to that, and it's called the levy limit sheet, and it gives you a little history and shows you how they compute it, which is interesting, maybe with somebody like you that likes numbers, just to understand that. You don't have to.
who said I like numbers?
I have a
You're in this
question.
department.
I have a quick question.
Yes, sir.
So this is the estimate, let's just assume this is the revenue number for this year.
That's the expenditure number for this year.
Total available appropriate, total available
Yeah.
for expenditures. If we were to expend that full amount, would we be above a 2.5% tax increase? We would be, right?
Yeah.
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 Could at some point you let us know where we have to be to have about a 2.5% increase?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
I can't do it on the spot, I need to.
No,
go
no,
back
I'm
to
sure,
No, no,
no, that's
no,
fine,
no.
no, whenever.
Recap sheet.
No, I
and
just think that
figure
going
the
forward, that's,
valuation.
Yeah, that's
and
helpful.
whatnot.
If you have a
That would-
total
that would be a
for
handy
it,
number to
it
know.
would be
Yeah.
easier,
Yeah.
Yeah, because we usually record that down here somewhere, so that we have a
Right, so
target
we-
number.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Because I have to get closer, I have to take this number and reduce it down to where the levy would be, and
Right.
then add the 2.5% and
Right.
whatnot back into that.
right.
And then make the difference, the same difference on the bottom, so I will do that for you. and
Thank
I'll
you.
get it to
That would be
Thank you.
helpful,
No
yeah, thank
problem.
you, good question.
Probably Wednesday, because I'm off tomorrow.
I'm on vacation,
Oh, okay. But
So?
you're going away though?
Thursday morning.
Oh, all right.
And we don't get together for 2 weeks now,
Oh,
so.
okay,
Right,
so it's
right.
not a hurry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
we're in
No,
no
we get a
rush.
minute.
But
We're
I
in no
will
rush.
gladly do it in here, this way.
Oh,
you
yeah,
can
put
keep
one
the
of
other
that.
one.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, yeah, it was good you moved
Have you
it.
I'll be back in.
Have you had anything like that before?
No.
It was good you moved our meeting up, or you would have been stuck with me alone when it came around to that.
Okay, well, thank you for coming in,
Yeah.
and good luck.
Okay,
Okay, guys,
okay.
and you know where I
I'll be
am if you need
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Sneak up to the hot pot.
It's amazing how routine
Well,
those
it's being done
become.
robotically.
Is it really?
Yep. She's having knee surgery next week.
Okay.
Having what surgery?
A knee
Full
replacement.
replacement.
Oh.
And she'll see when I have to get up.
Well, it's, after it's done, get up and get on it, or
Yeah.
you'll never
Oh, yeah.
will.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
she will. She'll be good.
I plan on being back in 2 weeks. They're telling me no, but I'm.
On your way out, if the
I-
Board of Health is there, could you send them in?
Yes.
Thank you.
See you later.
Thank you,
Good
thanks for
night,
coming
guys, and If you
in.
need me, just call.
Thanks, Barbara.
Watch yourself.
Everybody's having surgery.
All right.
I got measured today so they can correct my vision while they're at it.
Good. So those numbers, that kind of makes sense, that
Yeah.
this, because we've been every year spending underneath the limit.
Yes.
So if we were to, that's always,
No, that's a good number to have.
and that's always an issue with going forward, spending even less than that. Because then at some point, you could have a finance committee here who said, you know what, we really need this, let's just do this, and people's taxes could go up 7% instead of 2.5%.
One can
And then
come
they'll
here,
say-
one can go down there and watch your
Okay,
steps.
say, why was it 7% when you only go up 2.5%? Well, you hadn't been there before.
Right, exactly.
I was aware of that. Oh, my goodness, hey.
Wow.
I don't know if you guys know everyone around the table, if you
I
want.
don't know if I've seen you around.
Yes, Catherine Shepherd.
Art Warren,
Nice to meet you.
Harry Wakel.
Nice to meet you.
You know this guy.
Steve,
And I'm Lisa Hart.
I'm Nate. Okay, Okay,
Now
so,
then we know who goes to the transfer station.
that's right. That's right, I had a panic attack, I lost my sticker for a few minutes. I hadn't put it on the truck yet. So these, Harry and Art
They're so
represent the Board of
expensive.
Health. We put your submission that you got to us up on the screen here. If there haven't been any changes, we can just operate right off of that.
Okay.
If you wanna just go line by line, we can.
Yeah, what do we got here?
$3.
Our overpaid Board of Health, $3.
Oh, yeah, by the way, we don't get the $3. What's up with that?
We don't pay the bills, we just recommend them.
Talk to Barbara.
Yeah, you missed her, she left. Didn't we add that in last year? You didn't get anything 2 years ago.
No. It keeps falling through the cracks.
No, we paid you twice as much than last year.
All right. Okay. Okay, administrative assistant. That is fiscal year 18 was the 25,272.
Yep.
And I budgeted that plus the 2.5 and 2.
Yep.
Or whatever wage and personnel recommends.
They said 2.5.
So that's what I heard, so that's why I put it down. But
Yep, no,
if
that's
that
good.
changes, then
No,
The numbers changed.
They came in and said 2.5 for this year, so everybody's coming in with 2.5, so that's good.
And the health agents, again, I took the budgeted and included the wage and personnel.
So,
to-
yeah, I'm listening, you can keep going.
2.5. That's what that says.
It's all blurry to me.
I'm glad it's blurry and it's not my eyes.
I can't tell.
Yeah.
So, in other words, it's the same basic budget with just a wage increase.
2.5% and the 2% step.
Okay.
And as on the next page here, again, everything is the same with the exception of the dues, membership, professional development. We have a new health agent. Our prior health agent was the health agent for Halifax.
Right.
And when we go to our seminar over in Taunton in November, she went under Halifax. So Halifax paid for her. So I had to add in another $100 because Rob Timken, who is the retired Carver health agent, he retired after 25 or 26 years in Carver. So we're fortunate to, because we only need a health agent on demand,
Yeah.
you know, we don't.
Great.
Well, that goes back to the previous page, right? The health agent line.
Yeah, right. But this, we're gonna send him.
No,
to the-
yeah,
So, and it costs $100.
but as far as like the $9,000, that's like you said, it's on demand. It can go up or down depending on the amount of times we need them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's traditionally kind of where it lands. Is that right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And so the reason for the $100 increase is just that tuition for him.
Okay.
Everything else is flat. So you'll notice the bottom line is an increase of $100.
Okay.
And I don't know whether this is the right venue
No,
for
that's
this.
fine. You're here. You might as well talk about it. That's fine.
We have a 10 or 11-year-old computer that we're using, and that in this day and age is pretty old.
Now, doesn't the town house themselves, doesn't the selectmen have a computer budget that they have people
I believe-
scheduled in for new computers
I
and
believe
stuff?
so, but
Well, I had talked to Dale, and he said, well, we'll get you one. This was last spring. And then he said that there was gonna be some grant money.
yeah.
So I don't know, but our computer fell through the cracks or
Okay, so maybe
whatever.
we can talk to
I
the,
mean, it's not an emergency, but I'd hate like heck to
Well,
Well,
lose.
because there was a grant that came through last year to upgrade the servers and stuff in the building, but obviously you probably weren't included in that. Okay, I know it changed, the terms of the grant changed and what was covered and what wasn't covered. So maybe you were in at one time and then you had to get pulled out.
Okay,
So
yeah, I don't know, but
You can have our old one if you want.
And it's a tower too, you know, I mean, it's not a laptop or.
Yeah, I think that probably goes
Yeah.
to, has to go to Liz.
Yeah,
And
and
so
she'll-
I'll talk to Liz and
Yeah,
have her put us on a list or something.
yeah.
yeah, tell her it's, you know,
The last one
I
I
mean-
bought was all inclusive, just it sits on the desk and it's just,
yeah,
it's there.
they're not very expensive to get a new
Yeah.
tower computer.
Yeah, and the prices I'm sure come down,
Yeah,
Oh,
I
so,
think I paid $400 for that a big case.
anyway, and I looked at, I based my projections on, I had Barbara pull a summary in January, and I looked, and we're within $1,000 of half of our budget,
Okay,
through half of the year.
okay.
So, and things like the contagious diseases, which is the Cape Cod VNA, it's 1520 a year, but they bill us by the month, so that's why it's 780 here, because we had paid 6 months worth, and so that will go up, and as will a lot of these things as they used.
Yep.
So, like I say, we're
Pretty close.
yeah.
great.
And we were out of, we didn't have a health agent for a while, so, I know Harry and I did some things on our own that we could do, legally. So, but now we do have one, so we can, you know,
Use them for,
use him for everything, and he's already started, you know, doing inspections and bottom holes and finals and all of that.
Okay.
So,
Harry, could you spell your last name for me, please?
Yeah, W-E-I-K-E-L.
Thank you.
any questions, or?
I don't, seems pretty straightforward to me.
Yep,
Any, Steve, anything?
no, good, nice, good budget,
So,
easy to follow.
oh, yeah, that, and I wasn't even sure it was gonna be a capital expense. I didn't know what a new tower cost, so it could be $400
I was
for
gonna say
all I
for
know.
$500, it wouldn't
Yeah,
wouldn't
Right, I don't
qualify.
think it-
So
no.
yeah, so I'm
Oh, wait, I can't get on the survey here.
We'll talk,
I don't have
we'll
the
talk to
password.
Liz.
Yeah.
We'll talk to Liz. And find
okay, just,
in fact, she's
It's
supposed to.
getting-
She thought
Yeah,
she
she
might
said she
join us
might
tonight.
stop in tonight, so
if we
we'll-
think it
it's
will-
getting to a point where it could give up the ghost, and,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't wanna lose
No, right?
everything
No,
that's on it.
Sure.
definitely. Talk to her too, but we'll
I
mention
will.
it if she comes in tonight too,
Okay.
to make sure that,
Very good.
okay?
All right.
I thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Short and
You
sweet.
could
We like that.
You could probably get as much horsepower out of a laptop these days.
Yeah, we,
Yeah, I mean, whatever the town wants to do is
Yeah.
fine with us.
But you
'Cause
could
I
probably
think
get
this-
that much horsepower out of it.
they just bought this for us last year, the year before, and it was only like $1,500 or something. So it might be easier.
So, yeah, I mean, we're set up, we've got the monitors and the thing under the desk, so, you know, tower is fine
Okay.
if they
Okay.
want to,
Yeah.
whatever.
Very good.
Whatever works good.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Well,
Thank you.
Don't trip on the cords here.
Have a good night.
We haven't paid our insurance yet.
You too.
That was last year's insurance.
Alrighty, good. So we got a few minutes between the next presentation. So why don't we
I run away from the heat.
talk about? Steve, you want to just give a little bit more of a recap on what happened at the Silver Lake meeting? What your impressions were, or if you had any notes or anything that you had on
I
there? or-
threw a few things on here, a couple of figures that are gonna come down. What they presented was basically a preliminary type budget, so most of the numbers in here haven't been massaged yet, and most of them, this is almost a like to have,
Yes.
but no, they can't get it because
Yeah,
And the
they
guy
always
from-
they always
Yeah,
start up here.
8%,
I think
I mean.
yeah, right, exactly. They're
8%.
looking for 8%, and last year I think we gave them 3.
Yeah,
so.
and the gentleman from, on the board from Halifax and Kingston, they were a lot more vocal than
Yes, I have
we were.
Eric's notes here say
Eric.
Halifax and Kingston are strapped for cash.
Yeah,
They made that well known.
so it's, you know, so we're not gonna change much. And I just jotted some numbers down. And now I don't recall where to put them into, but they will be coming, these numbers will be coming down when they meet with us
Right.
On the 26th.
26th.
Yeah.
I have other,
And I
insurance
met
is
the-
up 4.5 to 6.9%. Something's been reduced by 800K.
Yeah.
They're looking to replace light poles on the fields.
Yes, I think the ones that are up there on Sirocco Field,
Two to
they're rotted out.
2 to 300,000. They're looking for a total of $545,000 for capital. At least with what they're presenting originally. Those are his notes. And I didn't ask about them, I'm just reading them off here, so he does say something, other things here, but I don't know what they mean.
Okay. Well, thanks again for going. I appreciate that since some of us couldn't
Great.
attend.
It was,
that
it
was
was a
great.
very long trip for me in my current vision state. Trying to see where I'm going. We can put that back in file or
Yeah,
whatever.
just- I do have
And-
electronic copies of these things. If I haven't sent them to you, I will send them to you.
Oh,
They did send over, after you went this week, they did send over electronic copies, so I'll forward them out to the rest of the committee so you can
I didn't-
review
I
them
didn't-
by the 26th.
get to put my email down up there for him, but it didn't matter anyway.
Yeah, they just send it to,
And this is
finance
the-
at town.
This is the elementary school thing, so.
Yep.
Budget.
Yeah, so one of the nice things about the school budget is that the vocational education has dropped by $80,000. So that's a nice bonus that we can't always count on. So
Charter schools seem to be coming up quite a bit.
Yeah, it's quite an issue.
Quite an issue. And now, and I ponder if which actually offers the better price per student. Does the charter school is cheaper than the public?
Well, the problem is that you have to pay a tuition for the child going to the charter school, but it does not decrease your costs to the elementary
In the
school.
elementary school,
Because
yeah.
you still have to have the teachers and you still
Yeah.
have to have
Right.
all those expenses. So charter schools definitely, I'm not pro or con against them, but they definitely do affect
They affect
elementary
your-
schools
Right.
and the spending.
right.
So if they really
You
want
still
to
have to
save
keep
money,
the building open, just to,
Yeah.
no matter how many people go there.
Exactly.
if they really want to save money, privatize the whole thing.
Nate, do we have any input from the schools as far as that VOTEC number going down like that? Is it down this year?
That's what this is. Oh, you mean current 18?
Yeah, will they have money just to give us back? Was it down?
They didn't indicate that, but that's a question we can ask them in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I would anticipate, yes, I would think so. If they're projecting it for next year, then chances are we have
Maybe
one
this
less
year was
student this
less,
year. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we'll think to ask that to them.
So
If they watch PBS, then this will help them thinking Generation Next.
okay, we also had I can put my hand on it. We had a reserve fund transfer that came up last week that we didn't have detail on. So Catherine very nicely researched that for us. Of course, I won't have it in front of me. Shoot. It was from the Board of Selectmen, and it was $3,000, right? So it was 3,000 even. And the reason for it, they just put down that they, it was basically miscellaneous was what they were looking for. But the reason for the request was the town administrator had expenses, getting set up and all of that, and there was no line, but there's a budget line going forward for fiscal 19 that allows her to have expenses like the Board of Selectmen have and like every other department has. But basically, it's startup costs for the town administrator. So they've been spending money out of the selectmen's account for her to get her started up. So this is just kind of to replenish the selectmen's account, and the reason for it is because of the town administrator.
And can I ask, is it that that account now has been spent out, or are they just trying to replace the money you know what I mean?
Well, they were budgeted for $3,000, and they've already overdrawn that for this
Okay, they have.
current year. Yeah, they've
Okay.
already drawn it down. They were as of 2 weeks ago, they were at a negative 200 and something. Yeah, so the $2,700 they'd already spent close to 3,000.
Okay,
So that's why they requested another 3,000 to get through the final 6 months of the year. So, so that's the reason for it. So we do need to take a vote on that reserve fund transfer.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Approved unanimously.
but you don't have it, because we have to sign
You're
it,
not supposed to
right?
say that on camera.
Well, do we have to sign it, I mean, or just?
I have to sign
Oh,
it.
just one signature, okay, then,
Yeah.
that's fine.
So when I
We
find it,
voted, you
when I
can sign
find
it,
it, I'll
and
sign
we
it.
just turn it in.
Yeah, I've got it somewhere. It's in my
Still
bag somewhere.
thinking back to when we all had to sign it.
Yeah, no, if
Right.
you remember, we voted that
Yep, I do now.
one person can sign on behalf of the board, so.
So it's $3,000,
Yep.
Board of Selectmen. So,
So it's-
line number,
The line number,
235
correct,
from,
from reserve fund, which
what is
is,
that one?
that is number 7 or 800, is it? 800.
800.
So,
Okay.
I think that's all we had for new business. So we can go take a look and see if the library is here. Maybe we can sneak out early.
Remember that.
All right. Okay, so
What would you like me to say?
these are your sheets that you
Yep.
you submitted to us. Thank you for that. I don't know if
I'll
there's been
just speak
change.
to
Yeah,
it.
yes, right.
All
Just
right.
speak to it as we go along
All
here.
right, so this is a 2% increase from the current year.
Yep.
It's based on whatever the wage and personnel decides.
So
two and a
congratulations, you
half.
got a raise.
I don't know if that's.
It looks
They-
like it's gonna
they
be
went
2.5.
to 2.5.
2.5.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah, see?
Well, that's quite exciting.
All right.
See, I didn't know
Calculate
that, but
that?
already that changes
Drinks
all
are
the
on you
figures. But that
So-
throws everything else
Right. Well,
off.
we'll
but,
go
you
ahead.
know,
We'll
just
go ahead and make
ahead.
that change. Yeah,
Okay.
we will make that change.
Okay.
So
now-
that changes these too, correct?
No, not necessarily, no.
Okay.
No, because my understanding was that we were allowed to give a 2 to 4% raise as long as it fell within the range for the
No,
position.
no. You gotta give the raise of what wage and personnel gives, and
Yeah.
then you can give up to an additional 2%
Okay.
step increase.
If they're
Oh.
eligible for step
Right.
increase.
Right. As long, they've only just started, everybody's only just started
Yeah,
doing
yeah, within-
that. So,
okay, yeah, I don't
as
know
long
how-
as that still falls.
All right, so then I don't know, what we did, however you want to.
4%
Okay.
falls in fine.
Right, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
You
So-
can
could
go to
actually
4.5
to four and
if
a
you
half.
want to. And you know.
My trustee is saying, yes.
Yes, absolutely. We want to
Okay.
get them up as more.
So then
Where
it's
they should
2.5%.
I mean, just
Okay.
because
Cost
you're
of
on
living.
camera and the
All
whole
right,
world is
but
watching,
it
you know,
show-
no one's gonna hold
it's
you
just,
to
I'm
this.
just like, it throws off everything else.
Yeah, right. Well, again,
Okay.
we will go in.
So there would be some,
There would be a
a
little bit.
little
extra-
change
Right.
there.
We will make that adjustment.
But so you know in the future, that's what it is.
Okay, so it's what
it's
the.
whatever wage and personnel says.
Right,
And then up to
Up to
2%
2%.
step increase
okay.
a year, as long as they're,
It's the first 3 years, is it? I think.
I wanna say, they said 5.
With-
I can never remember if it's 3 or
Within-
5.
think
within
it's
the salary
5, but they have to
guideline.
stay
After
within the
3
salary
years, I'll
cap.
ask you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but they
3
have to
years, I
stay
wouldn't
within
be
the,
here.
as long as they stay within the
That's what I'm
salary cap.
hoping here, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I just read in the
didn't
paper that
have
I'm up for
quite
I'm up for
right.
re-election this year. I didn't even know.
That's good,
better
that
point
means
the
you're
papers
planning
down.
on staying, because you didn't know your
I
time
had
was
no,
up.
I had no idea.
All right, so as you can see, we do value our employees at the
Absolutely.
library. We really wanted to do the best we can for them, so yes, a 4.5 would be
Okay,
awesome.
we will make that adjustment for you.
Okay, now,
Private industry, they call it cost of living and merit.
Merit.
Mary.
So, Debbie, what you'll need to do for us, because we can make those adjustments to the salaries.
Right.
If you can come back to us with a new library materials
I can do that.
number, Because Nate, that number is
Oh, that's
based on
percentage,
those
right?
up.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
I
right.
had
I
this
remember that from
lovely
last year.
chart, but I can fix that for
Right,
you.
no,
Okay.
yeah, you can just come
Yes.
up with, give us, you know, the rest of the numbers will stay the same, but that number
Right.
will go up a little bit because the salaries are going
I
up a little
forgot
bit.
that. Okay.
Right.
Yes.
So
Oh, it
that-
says right there, 20% of
But
total
that's
budget.
why
Okay.
it makes it very confusing, because as
Gotcha.
soon as you start changing one figure, you have to change that
So
one.
basically, we should just send you home now, is what you're saying.
Anyways, you will see the only thing we really made increases to other than the staff salary was, there was a
Membership fee.
$190 increase in the sales network membership. And then there was an $18 increase in the computer support we get from them.
Highway robbery.
I'm not overly concerned with the other expense lines, because we do, if we meet the state compliance figures, which we would with this budget, we are eligible for state aid. And right now, we're getting about $3,500 in state aid
Okay.
directly, just, so if there was a slight difference in some of those figures, like every year I have been paying, some would say the travel expenses have been more than that figure, but I pay it out of state aid. We have been spending more money on materials, but I've been paying it out of state aid. There's programming that goes over $1,100, but we've used some state aid, or we have been given some very nice gifts as well that,
Okay.
so we have been able to supplement the basic thing. I've never wanted to have to pay anybody's pay
Right.
out
right.
of
Right.
State
Out of
aid.
grant money.
state aid that can
Yeah.
disappear,
Yes,
or,
yes.
gift money.
Yes.
So that's, my main concern is that those funds do come out of the town budget.
Okay.
So then, that was level service funded that we
Mhm.
looked at. All right. So if it was possible, what we would like to see is one more hour in our circulation clerk. We actually have 2 people in that position, but it's just a 1 hour over the whole year that we would be increasing. Flexible, it may be between 2 people. What we were hoping to do, we started last year around this time, a craft program. It meets once a month on a weekday, but we think there's too many people wanting to do it. We can't fit everybody in, but also we think there are people who would be interested if we tried doing it on the weekend as well. And currently, we don't have the funds in the staffing in order
Okay.
to do that. So we're looking at not just, we want more hours, we're looking at providing
More
more
services.
services.
Okay. So that $863 would go up slightly because of the additional 5%.
Correct.
So
It would be a half.
So we'd
It'd
have
still
to-
be under 900.
we'd have to do more math.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Okay. I
I can
believe
reconfigure all that.
I
for you.
believe I put that in. I think I added the 863 in.
And because,
What line are you guys?
because you change that by 863, then
That other number changes.
the library materials number changes by $268.
But they're gonna be a different number.
But they would be
Yeah.
slightly different.
So if you can redo your sheets.
Yes,
Assume, so what
Yeah, I
Nate's
do.
saying, we're
Easy.
going, at this, at least at this point, we're gonna put that hour in. So include that in your regular budget line, budget sheet
Oh,
now,
okay.
so that you can get all the numbers together on one page.
okay.
Okay?
Okay. What we submitted was the what I call the 4%.
Right.
2% for me, 4% for them. So there's some finagling there, plus the 1 hour.
Yeah. See, I think I took your 863 and for our purposes, I went and added it right in because that's what you're requesting.
So the figure I submitted came to 148,839, or a 3.2% increase.
Okay.
So it would
I'm off
be-
by $200 somewhere, but that's fine. We're
That's
gonna
probably
redo. We're gonna redo them all anyway.
$215 for the library materials is probably.
Oh yeah, that's probably
That's
exactly what it is. Yes, that's exactly what it is.
So that's where we are. This was like this is what we want. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
this would be great. if
Well,
we
that's
could
what we
have
asked
this.
for. We ask you to come in and tell us what you want, and we'll try to figure out if we can do
Right.
it for you.
Right.
Okay. All right.
So any other questions?
Oh, that's
or-
right. Yeah, 216. There we go. All right, perfect.
I don't think so. I don't
Any
know. Any
questions?
other questions?
I know you're just getting started on this.
Yeah, this is our
You
first
don't-
night of
you
doing
have
this,
no
so thank
idea
you for
either.
coming in, I appreciate that. And I know we moved you guys, so I appreciate you coming
Yeah.
in when we could fit you in, so thank you. You helped out some other departments by being able to be flexible, so
Well,
thank
it's
you.
nice, because now I don't have to think about this. Except, no, you're saying I have to. So you want my figures resubmitted on these forms
With the change,
with the change?
with the half percent.
If you
change.
can, that would be great, that way we'll have both, we'll just scan them again,
All right.
and we'll have both
My
copies, just for
question-
future
My question
reference
is,
if we
can I
need to.
just put all of the changes? Do I have to list the change in the?
No, you don't have to put it
supplementary
out. No,
forms?
put all.
No, just
Put
put it all
everything
that one.
here.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
fine.
I can
Yeah,
do that.
that's fine.
All right.
And if you want me to resend you that for a clean copy, I can do that, or if you still have the original
I
one.
finally, I have it.
Okay.
I unfortunately, I mistakenly,
Deleted it?
deleted your original thing, but I now have it, believe me, I have many copies.
Thanks for coming, we're done.
We're very
Not a
efficient
huge
over
rush,
here.
because,
I'm
because
I'm
Jill's
sorry.
going ahead of this much quicker than the adults.
Do you have anything you'd like to add to the discussion? Yeah, we were able to,
We moved in
Hasn't been working.
last August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
It was, no, we were able,
It's not babysitting. it's
we were
not-
running a little early, so we were able to sneak them in. No, I'm sorry for that.
It's now white.
I mean, if they did it together, maybe it'd be okay, but
Right.
By the library sometime.
Well, that's a good idea, though. She tell her.
She's everywhere else in town, I'm sure she'll make it
Jenny's
there
rounding
eventually.
Well, then she doesn't have time to come.
Well, that's
And
probably
we want her
true.
to, keep her busy.
That's
because
true.
we need-
That's very
We
true.
need people to do this kind of stuff.
Sorry to make you come out.
Cross and
Thank you,
center.
Louise.
Next to, across the street from LaSalle.
Do you have another
Those are
meeting?
across the
What-
street.
No, this is
Yeah,
a,
this
This is it. Oh, so you
you
go
were the
on
last
too?
one of the night. I actually have to go to
Their
Nashville.
youngest and our youngest grew up together,
Oh, okay.
That's
along
fine.
with the Whiting.
No, I,
was sitting
Mayflower. Those three.
Yeah, they're nice
It's a
neighbors.
fire hazard. It's not safe.
okay, you
All
may
right.
go, thank you very much,
know.
Take
appreciate it.
care, Chris.
Good talking to you, Louise.
Yes, I'm sure we will, Debbie. Have a
Again,
good night.
please watch your step.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Something has a library? Wait a second,
Don't
she
ask me what
knows
the,
me.
don't ask me what the hours are, I know Janet goes, I never go.
Well, that's the same thing I have to do, I have to ask Carol.
I never
Yeah.
have no idea what the hour, I know there aren't many, but
They're open Saturday.
a couple nights a week and Saturdays, right?
Tuesdays
Thursday,
and
and Saturday?
Thursdays from 10 to 8,
Okay,
and Saturdays from 10 to 2 or 4, I think.
Yeah. Something like that.
okay.
My wife knows. And if you're ever in doubt, it's online.
Yeah.
So it's 26 hours a week, I think, they're open.
It's almost as much as the transfer. No, transfer station's open Saturday and Sunday both. Sunday for a half day.
Right, and Tuesdays and Thursdays for half day.
Tuesdays, Thursdays, yeah. Those are my days. Tuesday
Okay.
and Thursday.
That's all we had for department meetings tonight, so is there any other discussion or about where we stand or what things look like so far? Or? Okay, so I will update those library figures. And I'll try to remember to email you all a copy of the budget so far, so that you can kind of keep track of where we are.
Here and the dates again, please. I hate
Sure.
to make you have to do that again,
Yes,
but,
I'll do it right now, actually, after we sign off, so thank you.
okay.
So if there's no other business, we can,
Move to adjourn.
excellent, thank you.
Second.
In favor?
Aye. Oh, 7:03.
7:03. Great, thank you very much.